Okay. All right, man. This week three, Jason and Mark, we're just having a chat. We're just talking about real world stuff. We invite you every Wednesday. Jason, did we say we're going to do it at the same time every Wednesday?
We did not, but I think we're going to do that going forward. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start posting them a little earlier on our social media so you'll know what's coming. And we want to hear from you. This is about you. It's not about us. We talk our own bullshit every day, back and forth between either 800 texts, 300 emails, anywhere from 3 a.m. to 1 a.m. So there's only about 2 hours there during the day that we don't monitor or conversate. So let's chat. Let's chat about the things going on in the world. It's very exciting times. At the same time, very depressing times. There's a lot of stuff going on that we may or may not like, that we don't know what the outcome is. It's also a time for men to become more manly, take more charge, and there's more opportunities out there. We just have to look for them and work for them. Jason, I'm gonna quit preaching since nobody's amening, and let's get rolling. What you got going on?
So, just the usual. So, obviously, Mark and I are working separately today, so we spend time together and spend time separate. So we are on our own devices today. So you get a frame with each of our beautiful faces. And I think I think a good way to kick us off is kind of picking up on last week's topic. And last week's topic was why so many men feel lost even when life looks fine. So let's talk about why men carry their weight quietly. And I think we've kind of touched on that through a couple different points, but why do men carry weight quietly? Um, I think we've talked. So it's different from men and women. Men aren't supposed to show emotions, right? We're supposed to be internal and gruff and go kill the meat and bring the food home, but we're not supposed to have emotions and thoughts and worries. Um, so why has society led us to a point where we have to internalize that? Why are we supposed to be the stronger as opposed to the fair of the sexes and internalize all that stuff? How did we get there?
Yeah, for me, I think some of that's just inherent in our DNA. Because we were the ones that left the cave to go wrestle the dinosaur or find some substance for the family. So I think that is part of it. Part of it's in our DNA.
Mhm.
And then that just got pronounced the further along in society we went, that's your job. Your job is to handle everything. It's okay for her to show the emotions, and you're supposed to be the comforter, the provider. Something rattles at the front door in the middle of the night, you're the one supposed to get it and go get it, right?
Yeah,
If you're on the Titanic, you're supposed to help them get on the boat, and you're supposed to stay on the one going down.
right.
Uh, I can't answer why it's that way. It is that way, and that's part of why I think you and I started this. So, I mean, we kind of did that for each other, and think, man, there's literally billions of men on Earth that don't have an outlet to go, and they don't have a choice. So, one of the things we want to bring is accountability. We're going to give you some tough love, tell you to stand up and be a man, but we're also going to understand, pat you on the back. If you want to cry for a few minutes, cuss for a few minutes, you want to meet me somewhere and fight for a few minutes, we'll do that. I got about 37 seconds of fury left in me at this age, but that's what we need to do. And then like when we were kids and we fought, we got up and we were friends, right? The best of friends I had in school were the ones that either kicked my ass or I kicked theirs at some point in time.
This is true.
So maybe that's what we all need, but I really can't answer your question. I'm not that deep or smart enough. I think we just fight it out. What do you think?
Well, it was a great ad lib reply, and I'll tell you. So it's with me, and I think I've shared this on the podcast before. This is my first real venture in the entrepreneur space. Mark has lived in that space for a while, but it's tough for me to try and walk that professional, like this is the face of the channel. But really, what we're preaching is that we're just two guys, and it's you just hit me with that 37-second thing. So Mark has told me, we joke around a lot. We are good friends on all levels. He tells me that he gets more from my friendship than I get from his. And I guess that's how a good friendship could work, because
Sure.
I don't think he's right in the slightest. Because he has pulled me through some tough times. He was my Forged Men group for a period of time. So hearing that 37-second thing that it's what you and I exchange in dialogue is really cool. And that reminds me to just kind of breathe and calm down. Because again, guys, for me, I'm Jason. I'm just me having a camera in my face. I was talking to Mark before this, hyperventilating. This does not come natural. The path, however, as far as what we've walked, does come natural. And being able to talk about it, coach to it, speak to it, and talk about the issues is a natural thing. It's just natural to have a camera in our face. So again, that 37 seconds thing, but it's anyway. So on the real piece, real men cry, right? They say real men wear pink. I cry. I cry too much. I love The Notebook. It's a bit sappy, but yes, I cried during it. I actually was at a training with one of the banks I worked for down in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and we were down there for a few days. And me and one of the girls in the group went and watched Sweet Home Alabama. And we're walking out of the movie, and they're like, "Oh, honey, how'd you get him to watch it?" And I'm like, I actually picked it, but I think real men when they learn how to do so, aren't afraid to show emotions. It's
Right.
society, I think, makes us suppress those and feel not right for that.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, there are times where I'm crying and I'm just like, "Suck it up, man! Don't be." But it's okay. It's okay. And I just think society, as you said, is kind of part of it is inherent, and part of it is society is just it's what's acceptable and what's not. And you don't see men cry in society, and I don't know why. I don't know why it's been made that way. Because we shouldn't bear the burden of all that. We should be able to talk. We should be able to express frustration or dissatisfaction or sadness when we're there.
Right.
I cry a little bit too much sometimes when I walk in to see one of my daughter's plays. I can't stop crying. It's like my daughter's on stage. I can't stop crying. There are times I could wish I could hold that back a little bit, but we shouldn't suppress it. We should have, whether it be a good friend or a cohort or a group or a Discord channel, just be able to voice it. Um, and you get rid of those societal stereotypes, which are just they're not right.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Discord group. We need to remember to put in the comments a link to our Discord group so we can get some men in there chatting back and forth between each other.
Yeah, definitely. I'll take a note on that. Are you taking a note?
Yeah, I am, because I'll never remember it.
So, as far as men carrying the weight quietly, let's talk about um, success. So, a lot of times, you would think that success can create peace. So, money isn't money shouldn't be the factor. The only true commodity is time, right? You can make more money, you can make more friends, you can make more anything, but you can't make more time. So a lot of times I think that we find or we feel that if we find success, that'll give us peace. So does success give us an inherent inner peace?
I don't think it gives you inner peace. I don't think that can come from entrepreneurship. I don't think that can come from a paycheck. I think that can only come from you. You have to generate that to yourself. And sometimes I think we get hung up on success or the job, and we wear it like a badge or a thing of honor. Oh, I worked 75 hours last week, and I make X per year. I mean, there's people that are totally happy. I've heard Gary Vaynerchuk say this 1,000 times. He has friends that make 50 to $75,000 a year are the happiest people on earth, right? And he has friends that makes millions of dollars a year that are miserable. Some are happy too. I mean, in all walks of life. But so it's not about the money. It's not about the drive. We still need that drive to succeed and win,
Mhm.
but not as the core of our happiness, right? That's got to come from inside and it's got to come from a lot of things. I love what you were saying about men crying. We also got to realize that there's more than one type of tear, If you're crying because your daughter's on stage, I mean, that's a pride thing, right? And that should be an emotional moment. And you're gonna have more of those the older she gets, trust me. But you could have a sick loved one. Dogs are big in both of our families, so uh, something happens there, there's a problem. Just separation with family. My wife's getting ready to leave for 4 or 5 days on a girls' trip, and I mean, that's an empty hole in my life. I've been married 39 years, but um, I too can drop a quart of water on a sad love story too. So, and I consider myself a man's man. I'm ready to fight the dinosaur. I wish somebody jumped my shit at a gas station so I can, find my inner caveman for 45 seconds. And
Well, dropping a quart of water is a new one for me. That must be the Tennessee, not the Chicago in you, because I hadn't heard that one before. So thanks for that little bit. I don't know that I'll pick it up, but it was very interesting.
nice.
But no, it is that, and I know that your sleep is going to go from about 2.5 hours a night to about an hour a night for the next few days. But I'm sure your wife will have fun with her girls. But on the success piece, as I came up in life, and I'll never forget, my father was a very important business role model in my life. My parents, if I didn't mention already, my parents separated when I was young. I was raised by my mother. My father was very present in my life, and I was, if anything, I was probably closer, not probably, I was closer emotionally than my father. Instilled a lot of business lessons in life, helped me, understand financial acumen, things like that. But when he told me, someone, you make this the first time in your life, and I was like, and that's immeasurable. There's no way I'm gonna, not immeasurable, it's unobtainable. I'm like, I'm not gonna make that kind of money. And when I first made that, it was a sense of accomplishment, a sense of pride. But as far as like putting the success with our happiness, when you meet somebody, what a neighbor per se, not necessarily at the grocery store, but hey, name's Jason, how are you? Name's Todd. Hey, Todd, what do you do? That's what we lead off with. What do you do? It is identity. So I think that kind of goes with that success. And I'll tell you, I've had some financial success in my life. Again, I've had ups and downs. And the financial success does afford you the time to be able to do things or to be able to buy things. But material stuff is as fulfilling as it can be at the time seems to be an empty hole. It's something we chase, and it's not an identity. It's the success doesn't bring that. It has to be intrinsic. It has to be, we talked before about you're no good for your family, for your coworkers, for your employees, whatever situation or role you're in life. You're no good for them unless you're good for yourself. And the situation we've kind of touched on, I think we'll continue to develop, is if you're outwardly good, but you're not, you're leading a ship that could be going into, terrible waters, stormy waters. You could have the magnificent Titanic with the small rudders that goes into an iceberg. You have to be solid, mind, body, soul, financial, inside, outside. It can't just be a show. It has to be truly, truly there, which talks about how we're wearing everything outwardly. Um, but again, to have the bond, have the good morning, have the hey, how are you? I referenced before. Mark knows me so well. You've asked me a handful of times, how are you? Not normal conversation, but reaching out. And that's been a handful of times, and all but one, there was a reason. And he had hit the nail on the head. And that's him knowing me so well and being a support system for me. He's been invaluable in my life and definitely helped me get through some tough times and get to where I'm at. So that support system, which again is what we are preaching here at Forge Men, is so vitally important to get through all the bullshit and get to the real. Get to the real to help you get back on path, get rid of the drift, stay the course. Again, hit life in all aspects: mind, body, soul, financial, relationship, all of it. And again, that's what we're here for.
Amen. You got to fall in love with yourself.
Yeah.
If you can look in the mirror and you're happy with that guy in the mirror, guess what? Just about everybody in your world's going to be happy with that guy as well. And if they're not, you F them. You don't need them in your life. You need to be able to look in that mirror when you get up in the morning, whatever your phrase is, I'm King Kong, mofo, and you should be able to do that at night when you go to bed too. You got to talk to yourself. That self-talk is the most powerful talk there is. Um, we say the crap we believe in our inside, and we say what we think the world wants to outside, and we those two got to connect somewhere.
They do. They do. And it can be difficult to make that connection. But when you do, and when you stare at that guy in the mirror and you're proud of who he is and you're in love with who he is, your walk's a little bit taller.
Yeah.
Your strut's a little bit struttier. Your swag is a little bit swaggier. You might still have those few extra pounds, but you don't mind taking your shirt off going to the pool because you have it. You have the juice, right? The quan, to reference a couple different movies. But when you are confident in who you are, truly confident in who you are, it's just life is different. It's not rose-colored glasses. The heavens open up. There's no, you know, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But life is better. It's better when you're in love with that person. You wake up easier. You don't want to hit the snooze alarm 5 times. You tend to roll out of bed. You tend to roll into an activity. You want to go walk the dog as opposed to it being a task.
Yeah.
Um, everything is just easier. Life is just better. And anything you can do to help get yourself back on that path makes it that much easier. And I've been there multiple times in my life. I, most people have had life like this. Mine has been more like this. And I've deviated from the path and gone back to the path many times, which is what I think brings my relevance to this course. And that's why Mark and I, thought we'd be the perfect yin to the yang. Mark is that picture of stability, married for 212 years, aka 39.
Sometimes it feels like it.
For both. But the picture of stability, whereas I have had some instability in my life, and that's where we come to you with two very, very different perspectives. Both similar mindset, again, met in the car business, have had similar successes, but we come to you from two different complete perspectives to come together to say, hey, guys, we're not just some robotic course. Like we are two guys that have lived this path, and let us help you from both angles. Let us be that picture stability. Let us say, hey, we have deviated. It's okay. Here's what got me off path. Here's what brought me back. And I think that's the relevance over, with us as opposed to some of the competition out there. And it really is a genuine interest, and we forged this out of genuine compassion um, and interest.
Yeah, great stuff. Good stuff. I think that's it. We can't do anything about your past, and guess what? You can't do anything about your past. But together, mostly with your work, you can control your future, and your future can be very bright as a man. Men built the world. We're going to keep it going. We're going to innovate. We're going to do a lot of things. We'd love for you to come along with us. We need you. Every man on this earth is needed and has a role to play.
100%. 100%. And I think the continued podcast, as Mark mentioned, we're going to do it at the same time every week. That way it's consistent. We'd love for you to join, put some questions out there. So we're going to do it 11:30 Eastern on Wednesdays. But in the meantime, we'd love to have some interaction, engagement. And again, we are trying to grow the channel. So please like, subscribe, do all those things. But again, we're here for the right reasons. It's not to grow the channel. We want to grow the channel organically through helping men. So, I'll leave this week with just a question. So we talk about this, but when was the last time you honestly checked in on yourself? That's a question I'd like you to reflect on. I know that I already have reflected on that in anticipation of this, and Mark and I will talk about that and maybe even pick up on that and answer for you guys, next week, starting off our podcast. But if you're watching, please ask yourself, when is the last time you truly checked on yourself? Did a full just audit, full inventory? Not what does your bank account say? Not is there a ring on your finger? Not did you go to work last week and punch the clock? Do a full audit. Like, are you good? Are you okay? Where is your mental capacity at? And maybe that boosts you up because you're better than where you were, but maybe it raises some questions. And is it easier to patch a small crack or easy to pick up a building that's been completely shattered? So it should be easier to focus on those small things just to make sure everything is in order. So audit yourself, audit your personal inventory and see the last time you really checked on yourself. And if it hadn't been recently, do it this week. And I'd love to see any kind of comments or messages. That's it. I think Mark and I have mentioned we'll do some things, but we will put the blog address in there. Mark, let's also put our phone numbers
Okay. I'm
and
fine.
email addresses. I'd love to have that. That way, if you don't feel like commenting publicly, that's okay. And if you reach out to us privately, we'll probably ask your permission to share that conversation. If you say no, then it's no. We're truly here to support. So please ask yourself that question. And if it's something you'd like to share, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Good stuff. I also made a note. Maybe we come up with a self-audit form to help people get started.
That's great.
Here's questions you need to ask yourself. Maybe a part of it's the goal sheet, part of it's an audit sheet, and where do I fix what I need to fix? For me, it's physicality. I need to lose some weight, get in better shape. I've just turned 58, so I'm running out of time to get in better shape. I'm never going to run no marathons because I'd want to run over myself in the road if I tried that. But I think that's good stuff, and yeah, we'll share our information and reach out. And if we can't help you, we'll get you directed to somebody who can.
Cool. And Mark, I hear on that physical piece, but I'm going to shout out your kudos to the group and to you. You're on a good path. You've lost several pounds. Well, you've been doing well for the last few months. So kudos to you on that, my friend.
Thank you.
And continued success. So that's what focus brings. And when you put your mind to something. So again, congratulations on the weight loss so far. And I know you'll keep in the right direction. So cool. Well, men, we appreciate your time. Mark, thank you for your time as well.
My pleasure. I love it.
We'll drop those links down there and we'll look forward to seeing you same time next week. Have a great week, everybody.